Hello, good evening. Hello, hello. Hello, can you listen to me? I hope so. Okay, welcome to the class. I hope you can listen to me.
Hi, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening, hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Me too, fine, thank you. Okay, welcome to the class. I'm sorry, I think I sent the link a little bit late. We didn't have classes, right, previously with me. Uh, okay. I think there is missing one student.
Yes, Lucia.
Okay, Lucia. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm teacher Juan. I'm Juan. My name is Juan Caspa. I have been teaching English for a couple of years, previously in different places, but this year I'm working with executive English. And well, personally, I am very enthusiastic in learning English and other languages, but especially English. And also, I'm a tour guide. I'm from La Paz, Bolivia. Okay, but yeah, this is my hobby job, and I really like English, as I think you do. So I'm going to try to share some experience also, and we're going to try to use some materials from our platform, from the web, and we're going to try to do the class is more interactive, and I hope we're going to have a great time this during this month. And it's really nice to meet you. This is the first class, and of course, we're gonna have classes during all this month until September 30th, right? So, okay, I don't know if you have any questions, and also then I will ask you to introduce yourself. What would you like to reinforce? What would you like to learn? Or what are your expectations about English? Okay, so I don't know if you have any questions, Karen and Michaela. Is it possible, Michaela, to turn on your camera maybe, at least for this class? What do you say? Okay, well, I think your classmate will get connected, but let's start introducing yourself. Uh, but as I told you, I'm from La Paz. I don't know where you're from, what's your name. Uh, I'm really excited to be in this class. Maybe you can start, Karen. Yes, your name's Karen. Where are you from? Go ahead, please.
Okay, well, my name is Karen. I'm from Tarija.
Oh,
Well, I am 25 years old. I'm taking these courses because next year I'm going to study in Brazil. So I need the TOEFL, and
mhm.
I need a score. So that's the reason why I'm taking now these courses.
Okay, that's interesting. You're gonna go to Brazil. Maybe you're gonna do some masters or.
Yes, I'm applying for a master. I think that the name is other. I don't know how. I forget. Um, yes, master degree. Yes, master
That's
degree.
good. Yeah, and what did you study?
I'm
Career.
studied. I'm studied a production engineer.
Oh, nice. Production
And
engineering, maybe is the name. Wow, interesting.
yes,
Okay, it's like similar to industrial engineering.
yes,
Or
yes, similar.
yes, yes, yes. That's I heard about that.
Yes, maybe the university UPB.
Huh? Yeah, I heard about that. About some interesting careers. Like yeah, it's very related to my. I am a metallurgist, by the way. Um,
Okay.
I used to work in mining companies, and nowadays I'm a teacher of metallurgy. But anyway, I I love English, so that's why I'm.
Mm.
Okay, nice to meet you, Karen. That's good. That's good. You're gonna use you wanna use your English for further studies, and that's good. Okay, good luck, and of course, it's nice. If you need any extra material about for TOEFL preparation, you can just ask me.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Okay. Okay, Karen, nice to meet you.
Me too.
Okay, let's continue. Lucia, how are you? Let's introduce yourself. What's your name? Where are you from? And what would you like to learn? What's your expectation about English? Why you're studying English?
Okay. Thank you. Good evening. My
Yeah.
name is Lucia Serrano. I come from Bolivia. I'm from Cochabamba. I study law. Yeah, my expectations for for executive English is like to be to be able to do the TOEFL. And yeah, I need to
Mm.
achieve the goal of 100. And yeah, I think it's a big challenge for me. It's really difficult, I know, but yeah, I am that way.
That's cool. Yeah, 100 is, of course, we have to say that, right? I got 85, by the way, when I took TOEFL test. But of course, we need to still work on it, uh, keep working. It's not very difficult, but I think for especially for taking the TOEFL test, what can I say? It's very interesting, and you have to activate your brain. You have to try to be fast enough to complete all the activities because it's a very like as I can say when you okay let's say one when you do an activity can take you I don't know like let's say 3 hours but you have to do in 1 hour so it is interesting so I think maybe you tried sometimes but I think you guys have good English and that's important so if you apply for TOEFL it's not necessarily to have the best English or the best level but of course you I think something important is to be fast enough. And so little by little, you're gonna get familiarized with that. Okay, good. Nice to meet you. And we have then somebody from Cochabamba. And Karen was from Tarija, right? I'm from La Paz. Wow, it's interesting to be connected from different cities. You know, I'm in La Paz. It's a bit cold now, as
Mm.
always. And I don't know, Cochabamba, I think is a nice place. Tarija, wow, wonderful places.
Mm.
La Paz is also wonderful, interesting, but it's a bit different. It's cold, the altitude, but even though that is a very historic city, as Okay, so nice to meet you guys. Thank you for introducing Lucia and Karen. And let's go with Michaela.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
My name is Micaela. It's my first class, so sorry for my bad pronunciation.
No,
um,
come on, don't say that.
well, I am from Santa Cruz.
Good.
I want learn English because I I work with I don't know. uh, my boss only talk in English, so I
Wow,
need to learn English.
that's
Uh,
cool.
yes.
Of course, you have a great chance to
Uh,
practice with your boss.
yes, yes. Uh, so this is the reason why I am here, because I need communicate with her.
Okay. Oh, I see. That sounds really interesting. Wow, Michaela. And what I don't know if I can know what do you do? What kind of job?
Oh, I am a operation and marketing assistant.
Ah,
Is
okay.
multinational company. So um, I work with marketing materials and logistic.
Mhm. Okay, that sounds interesting as well. Okay. Well, it's very interesting. So I think this class will be very interesting because we're gonna have a chance to practice to speak in English all the time. So I really appreciate that you have a good level, and I think I also I'm very happy to have people from different cities. Yes, from Santa Cruz, Cochabamba, Tarija, and we are from a totally different cities, and that's cool. So I really like it. I'm excited to have to interact, to have some classes with you guys. I think it's gonna be very interesting. Okay, so first of all, um, well, I wanna say something also. And well, during this level that is A10, right? We're gonna work with some also materials, especially with I don't know how you were working with your previous teacher, but personally, I used to do almost every single class some Quizlets or some quizzes. Everyone must participate on it, and also with PowerPoint presentations. Especially, we're gonna try to reinforce grammar and of course speaking. So that's the way how we're gonna work. I don't know if you were working with Classroom. Were you working with Classroom?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, sure. That's good. That's good because especially to upload some extra material to study, to read, Quizlet links, especially for that. And of course, the assignments will be placed on in the platform, so you can work with that. You're gonna have a 1 week long to complete one lesson. So, but in the class we're gonna work. That's why I will please ask you to be very participative, to interact with everyone. We're gonna try to use some other platforms as well, like Padlet and something like that. Okay, some especially I use one is cool. It's called Quizzes, and usually we work with that. But according to the program of A10, it's the product number 4. And so in order to start, we will talk about especially verbs, okay? Because the topic that we have in the grammar section, we have a verb tense review, okay? You already know, but we're gonna remember a little bit about that. Present continuous, simple present, present perfect, and all of those grammatical rules, and we're gonna study. So basically, we're gonna work with. Let me share my screen right now. And okay, if you have any questions, you can only ask me. So, for example, we're gonna work with this one. So, especially with this module A, with module A, I'm gonna send you after the class the class code in order for you to join and things like that. But this is the product that we're gonna work with, and basically we're gonna work with all of those 4 lessons during these 4 weeks, 4 weeks long, and including the module A test that's gonna be at the end. And as you know, we usually work. I think Michaela, for Michaela, is the maybe the first time as I could understand. And yeah, if you need any extra explanation, I can explain. I can tell you about that. But basically, we're gonna work with some sources. This is gonna be our basic content to work with. But of course, I'm gonna use different materials, extra materials, especially to. Oh, okay. You will see. You will see there are some nice materials, interesting things to work with in order to understand much better. Especially, I'm gonna try to reinforce the vocabulary, grammar, of course, speaking, and all of those areas of learning. But anyway, today we're gonna start with grammar review. That is about verb tense review. Okay, when we talk about verbs, basically we talk about simple past, right? Present perfect, how it works in that. And so then tag questions, those are really easy and interesting as well. Okay, but then let's start. I don't know if you have any questions before we get started, or any suggestion, anything you want to say is welcome, by the way.
Yeah, I have a question, Professor. Is like, um, on Tuesday, on Thursday, we're going to have like the little speakings.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna show some material that I have, of course, every Tuesday, and as you said, on Thursday, we have the calls, 15 minutes speaking, for sure, yes or yes. Um, but in that activities, I'm gonna share something, um, some extra material, some topics that those topics will be very random. Okay, those topics will be random because the idea is to practice with some different materials, because when you speak English, usually you have random conversations. People can ask you about anything, and of course, you have to be capable to answer and to be able to answer any questions or something like that. That's why we're gonna try to learn more vocabulary. And if I can show you one of them, let me share, please. This is the material that I use. Just a moment, please. Let me share my screen, especially talking about that. But I don't know. You guys used to get connected for that, right? Or maybe somebody is not able to be part in those calls. I think everyone will be able, right, to be to connect, to get connected on Tuesday and Thursday. So this is basically some materials. For example, in the course, we're gonna have a topic like this, education, and we're gonna try to speak as much as we can about education, for example. That's just an example, by the way. And it's based in questions. And these questions are, well, will help you to, I don't know, to think about education, about a certain topic, and you will be able to answer. So usually we're going to finish those speaking sessions in 15 minutes. Okay. But try to use new vocabulary suggested over here. And the idea is to answer those questions. It's totally, as I told you, it's totally random. They are 10 questions, and we're going to talk about that. So also these presentations will be available in the platform, classroom, by the way. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. This topic can be totally different. It can be about education, can be about food, love, money, traveling. I don't know, any kind of topic. But what do you think about this material? It's simple, but I hope it's going to be interesting. I hope I answered your question, Lucia.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Well, and now let's start with something very easy. Okay. And the review of regular and irregular verbs. So let me check, please. Any other
And
questions?
sorry, Professor, to interrupt you again, but for example, for the exams for each week are going to be the same?
Yes, yes,
And
definitely,
the schedule,
definitely.
the time, the schedule is we're going to have until
Ah,
Sunday
yes,
11.
11:59, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, no worries. Personally, I used to assign the homeworks, especially, for example, after this class, I'm gonna assign you the lesson number one, and it's gonna be until Friday. But if you want, I can make it available until Sunday. It's okay. No, no, no. I don't have any problem with that. And usually the quizzes of the lesson used to be available from Friday to Sunday as well. But usually with my previous classes, I used to assign them the homework uh, from Monday to Friday until Friday evening, 11:59. And after that, I used to activate or assign the quiz until Sunday. But if you guys tell me that, I don't know, you want me to assign their activities, let's say lesson number one, for example, I can activate the lesson number one. I can assign you, right? Or yeah, and usually we used to hide the review quizzes, right? And over here there's the review quizzes. So I used to make this available only from Friday to Sunday. Okay, but that's the way that we're gonna work. I don't know if you were working in that way with the tasks or assignments.
Yeah, it was the same. So
Sure.
thank you so much for the clarification.
No, no problem. Okay, you're welcome. Well, yes, that's gonna be the way how we're gonna work. Okay, so now let's start with something. I don't know if you have any other questions, Karen, Kyla, if you want me to respond some of your questions, or if you, I don't know.
Teacher, about the person
Yeah,
you will assign after the class.
yeah, after the class. Yes, because today I'm sorry, I had many things to do. I was
Uh,
busy, but No worries. I have the lessons ready, and the only thing that I will assign you, it's gonna be after the class, the homework. But that's gonna be available until Sunday evening. Okay, Sunday evening. The lesson number one, the activities. And you will be able to respond it, and also the other one, the quiz or the review quiz, will be available from Friday to Sunday as well. But you can do at any time because the review is. I used to give 60 minutes, right? You can do in Saturday, Sunday, Sunday morning or something like that. But the other one you can do day by day. If you want later, you can already start. You can start with that.
So we are doing with the person at the end of the class, because I think that we need a code.
Yes, 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 yes. That's why I said that I'm gonna create by the end of the class. I'm sorry. I wanted to create previously, but
Yes, because in my platform, I can see the course A10. I only see
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A12.
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm gonna send you to WhatsApp group the PDF for with the code of the class and all of those
Okay,
things.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay. So well, now let's start with something that I have. It's very basic, but it's a general review that we're gonna work with. So today we're gonna talk about the simple past, regular and irregular verbs. And this is about the life of Wangari Maathai. Uh, but these presentations also will be very common for you, with me especially because this is from Pearson as well, especially for grammar explanations. Okay, and well, this when we talk about okay, especially we use regular or regular verbs in this case just to talk about the past, right? The past or to talk about some sequence in somebody else's life as this example or something that an action that usually started in the past or it has some relevance until now or I don't know. But over here we're gonna find out something interesting. For example, 1940, Wangari was born right in Kenya. So over here, I'm using the verb be, right, in past. So then we have went to school in the US and in 1971 got a PhD from the University of Nairobi. 2004 planted 30 million trees in Kenya. 2004 won the Nobel Peace Prize. So as you can see, we're using just simple verbs in simple past, planted, right? Got, won, right? Basic, basic verbs. So I don't know. There are some questions over here. I don't know if you are younger than or similar like this. I don't know. It was just my example. I used to say my students, probably you were born in 2000 or 2004 or something like that. But when were you born, right? This is a common question, and we say I was born in 2004, or I don't know. Usually those questions are difficult to answer. They say, okay, especially for girls, right? Many people can consider it's an unpolite question, but personally, I don't think so. But anyway, so the idea is only to explain this one. When were you born? When we talk about third person, it's going to be a bit different, right? She was born, he was born, they were born, right? But where were you born? And it's like I was born in Bolivia, Where you go to primary school? I was in okay, something like that. By the way, I don't know if I can know where did you go to primary school, Karen? If we can know about that.
Uh, I was in La Salle school.
Ah, okay, La Salle School. That's cool. And how about you, Lucia? Where was your school?
I was in San Agustin School.
Okay, good. Interesting. And how about you, Micaela? What was the name of your school?
I was in Módulo Transportista School.
Ah, okay. Interesting. In Santa Cruz as well.
Yes, yes.
Cool. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, let's do something now. Well, when we talk about the simple past, we talk about an event that happened in the past, right? For example, in 1971, got a PhD from the University of Nairobi. We were talking about that lady. And it is an action or an event that happened in the past. So the action probably is finished, right? Because we are not talking about the present perfect. We're not talking about just past continuous. No, this is just simple past. So the action is done and that happened in the past. Independently, if we know the date or when that happened, it's just about past, right? So I think, yeah, it's very easy. By the way, because we are talking about some general review of regular verbs, by the way. So, in also it's important to remember that when we talk about irregular verbs, usually for regular verbs in this case, that will end in ed, but not for every single verb, right? Sometimes when some of the verbs will have a vowel like e, it's gonna end with in d, and if the base form ends in y, we're gonna change like y in with I, and that's gonna be ied. So like this. Regular verbs are of course very simple. She moved back from to Kenya. She planted trees, right? If we have us in the explanation over here, if we have one verb that is the base form is in one vowel, we're gonna add on the d, and if we have this one, we're gonna have ed, right? But something special happens when we have here like study, right? And in that case, of course, we're gonna replace the y, and we're gonna use ied. So that's all. Then we use the same verb form for all persons, right? Studied, worked, lived. It doesn't matter if it's third person or if we're talking about somebody else, we're gonna use the same in past. It doesn't change. And then we have the negative. In negative, usually we're gonna use didn't, right? Or did not plus the base form. And even in questions, right? So he didn't have a lot of money, and or she didn't go to school in England. That's simple, of course, very, very simple. If we use didn't, we always will use go, base form of the verb, right? We cannot say she didn't went. That's impossible, right? So that's just a kind of recall or reminding for you in order to be, yeah, of course you know how to use this. You just properly, in this case, not phrasal verbs, sorry, irregular verbs, right? And well, also it's important the time expression, right? When we talk about the past, or when we talk about the usage of irregular or regular verbs, The time expression come at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. Okay, I can start a sentence like this. Last week, she traveled to Norway. But something is also important to remember. I think you know better than me, of course. When we want to write something, you mentioned about TOEFL test, and of course, when you want to write something, always start with a capital letter, right? A capital letter, and when you finish a sentence, you have to use a period, and that's important. But just in order to remind. But talking about time expressions, we're going to have time expressions can be placed at the beginning or by the end of the sentence. Her parents visited the capital city a year ago, but this is a year ago is a time expression, and it can be used by the end of the sentence. The sentences will be usually subject, the subject and the verb and the complement or something like that. But also we can include time expression. Time expression can be nonetheless at the beginning or by the end of the sentence. And as this one, this morning, right? We listened to the news about her awards, and also, it's placed by the at the beginning. But let's talk about this one. You will tell a partner about things you did or didn't do at the times listed. Okay, for example, I don't know. Let's talk about use four of those verbs and try to tell us something. I can say, let me do one example. This is the prompt we're gonna use. You can use the time expression last week and 2 days ago, this morning, last night, last year. Okay, yeah, let's use this five, not four, five. And if you want, you can use this one. For example, last weekend I watched TV. I didn't study English. If you want, you can use one by one, but try to be just the idea is also to speak and using any of those verbs in the past tense. Okay, you can say last weekend I cooked with my family and we had a nice lunch with them. I don't know, but tell us. Okay, then in order to develop this activity, let's start. Who wants to be the volunteer to tell us something using these verbs and with those 5 prompts? Or let's start with Lucia. Lucia, tell us some activities you did.
All right. Last weekend I cooked Mexican food with my family. 2 days ago, I study for the final test of English. Last night I visit to my friend, and last year I traveled to Santander.
Okay. Great. Last night you visited your friend, right? Yeah, it's okay. Well, thank you very much, Lucia. And let's.
Sorry, Professor. Is last night I visit to my friend,
I
or
visited my friend.
directly my friend?
Yes, I visited my friend.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, it's much better because when we use to, it is okay, but try to avoid those things because it's much better to say directly, like last night I visited my friend, something like that. Something simple. Okay, thank you, Lucia. Let's continue with Karen. Try to use those prompts.
I need to use the 5.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Last weekend I and I need to use only the verbs
So,
in
some
the
of those verbs. Yeah, but if you want, you can also use different verb. No problem.
okay. Last weekend I cleaned my room. 2 days ago, I watched a series. Then this morning, I wa- wo- woke up early. Last night, I listened music. Or in this case, I need to say I listen to music, or
Yes, I listen to music.
I listen to music. And last year, I I traveled with my friends.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, you know, right? You can also use this one, for example, abroad. Do you think what is the meaning of abroad? Do you know? Sorry. Do you...
Is when you go out of the
Yes,
country.
out of the country, exactly. Yes, right. And when we say overseas, usually is far away, maybe to another continent, right? Overseas, like Europe, Asia, I don't know, something like that. But abroad is like in Spanish we can say al extranjero or something like that. But overseas, out of the country. Abroad, sorry, abroad. Overseas is a little bit more far. I don't know. You can say last year I traveled to France or something like that. I don't know. Okay, just that. Or if you want, in order not to yes or yes use this abroad or overseas, you can also say I traveled to a different country or to other country or something like that. Okay, Michaela, please let's work with these simple examples.
Okay. Last weekend, I cleaned all my house. 2 days ago, I worked a lot. This morning, I listened to music. Last night, I played with my puppies.
Okay.
Last year, I visit my grandparents.
Okay. I visited, right? I visited my grandparents. That's
Visited.
good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. It's very simple, but of course, you're not forced to use all these verbs, right? Because of course, at this level, you already know many verbs, and that's okay. If you this was only a suggestion, but if you want, you can use other verbs. So also, what else would be important to remember about irregular verbs? So irregular verbs have different forms in the simple past, right? For example, oh, that's why they are irregular, right? It changes them. Win won, right? So Wangari won many awards for her work. She taught at several universities, right? And in order to remember that. Well, if we talk about negative in irregular verbs, when we use didn't, we after did or didn't, we don't have to use the same past because that means that we are repeating the past, both of them, in the verb and in the auxiliary verb, because this did is an auxiliary verb, right? So that's why we should say she didn't plant trees in the U.S., right? Not she didn't plant it. You have to be careful, especially when you speak. Sometimes it used to happen, right? When we don't pay attention when we are speaking sometimes, and we can make those mistakes. But I don't think it's very common at this level, but it's important just in case to remember. She planted trees in Kenya, for example. Of course, right? This is not negative, but so also be careful over here. The same, right? The same example. She didn't went to England in 1960, 66. She didn't go, right? That's the correct way. Do you think this is correct? The sentence, the second one. What do you say, guys? It is correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, wow, it's a long story, I think. You can, if you want, you can summarize. Not you're not forced to use all of them. Okay. I know you can say I was born if you want to mention the year or just the place. It's just up to you. And you can talk about. Okay, let's try to do just in one, not in one sentence, but like telling about these things. I can say like I was born in El Alto, and I grew up there in the city. I began the college when I was 6 years old, and I fell in love when I was 14 years old. I went to school or something like that. Okay, you can try to summarize something, not specifically to use independent sentences. Okay, think about something. I don't know, but if I don't want to mention about fall in love, or I don't want to say, I don't know, I want to omit leave home or something, it's okay, totally okay. Okay, guys, please just tell us something about you. That will help me also personally to learn more about you. Okay, just do it randomly. No worries. You cannot. If you don't want to start from here, you can start from any point of your life. Okay. And now let's start with Karen. Would you tell us something about, I don't know, trying to use correctly the regular or irregular verbs, right? Negative, positive, you can add anything. But just tell us something about this. Describe your life to us.
Okay, I was born in Tarija and I grew up there. At the age of 18, I went to Cochabamba to study at the university. I studied production engineer. Then I came back to Tarija because of the pandemic. I, well, I stayed here since the pandemic, and well, right now I'm working with my parents until I gonna go to no until I can go to Brazil.
Okay. You studied production engineering, right? Production engineering. Wow. And now you're living in Tarija,
Now, yes,
but you have studied in Cochabamba.
yes.
And that's cool. But in Brazil, are you gonna study in English or maybe in Portuguese?
In Portuguese.
That's good.
Yes.
Você fala português?
I falo.
Oh, que bom. Eu falo português, mas eu preciso praticar meu português. No, it's nice. It's nice. So cool. Because Portuguese is similar to Spanish, right?
Yes, yes, it's more similar. Some words,
Yeah,
but
yeah, of course, some other things. You have to use the intonation, right? It's like you have to speak like singing, right?
yes.
Cool. But of course, you will use a lot of English in Brazil as well.
Yes, for the university that I am applying, I need a good level of English.
Yeah, that happens in other countries, right? In as a tour guide, I some tourists used to tell me that even in Asia, in India, they teach science even at school in English. Like when I say science, I mean about chemistry, physics, and mathematics is always taught in English. But of course, the other subjects of school are taught in their native language. But usually they, and that's why when they came here, when somebody says I'm a, let's say I'm a, I don't know, I'm a professional, I'm an engineer. Ah, that's cool. So they think that definitely professional people speak English, but it's not. It doesn't happen, right? So but you're very fortunate. Just a small group that speaks English is cool. Okay, thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. Okay, Micaela, maybe you can tell us a little bit about something similar that Karen did. Okay, trying to use some verbs in past tense. Go ahead.
Okay. I was born in Cochabamba, but I grow up in Santa Cruz because I was how do you say I was sick?
Ah, okay. Yes, it's okay. You were
Yes.
you were sick. Yes, or you had
Um,
an illness, or I don't know.
okay. I started the school so young. I I went to the university at 16
Wow.
um, because I won
A
how do you
scholarship?
say beca
Yes,
scholarship?
scholarship.
Okay, because I won a scholarship and I studied commercial engineering and uh, and now I
You're working.
I yes I working but I sorry. Uh,
Um,
how do you say I titulé?
Ah, yes, you got your diploma, maybe? You finished the university?
Oh, okay, okay. I got my diploma 2 years ago.
Ah, good. Congratulations. As a bachelor's degree, right?
Okay, yes,
Yes, the bachelor is licenciatura in Spanish, right? That's cool.
yes, yes.
Okay, good. Ah, okay. But then you said that you were born in Cochabamba
Yes, but the
because of a health problem.
it's so cool.
Ah, yeah. Wow. But imagine I was born in El Alto. Well, yeah, anyway, I just kidding. But it's wow. But well, that's interesting. Wow. You were grown in Santa Cruz, right?
Yes,
Okay, interesting. Thank you, Micaela. Yeah, try
thank
to
you.
say young, young,
Young.
young. In English, try to avoid to say yes. Okay, there is not English. Yes. It's very simple, like yeah, right? Yes, something like that. Young. Okay. When we use J is when we talk about letter J, right? Like DJ. But then it's okay.
Ah, okay.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Michaela. Now let tell us something about yourself, please, Lucia. Go ahead.
All right. Um, I was born in Cochabamba, and also I grew up in the same city. I began the college 6 years ago, and I also got my diploma 2 years ago in the Faculty of Law. Uh, yeah, I left home the last year because I work abroad in Colombia, and yeah, in on May I to came back to Cochabamba, and yeah, and now I'm learning English.
That's good. Nice. You were living in Colombia. In which city?
Bogota.
Bogota. Ah, the capital of Colombia, right?
Yes.
Wow. How was the situation? Were you there in pandemics or before?
Uh, kind of. It was like a mix. Like I started my job like at the beginning in the online mood.
Ah, okay.
And on March, they told me, yeah, okay, we open all our office, and you have to come here. And I was, yeah, of course. And of course, all the restrictions were more flexible than here at that
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Mm.
In Bolivia, it's still many tourists still complain about the restriction that we have in Bolivia. Yeah, because they said, no, come on, it's very difficult to visit Bolivia because if we compare with Brazil, I don't know if it's good or bad, but they say that almost, I don't know, maybe the 10% of people only wear masks in Brazil. Almost
Yeah,
nobody wears. It's very weird to see some people wearing masks, but in Bolivia, well, it's good in some point, I think. I don't know what to say, but yeah, the restrictions are also very strong, very strict, in Bolivia, comparing with other countries.
maybe comparing with other countries, the main reasons for us is like is the level of people that receive the vaccines.
Ah,
Yeah,
probably.
depends.
Can
Depends.
be,
Yeah,
can be.
or level of education of us with some restrictions also.
Probably. I don't know. It can be many factors,
Yes.
but definitely comparing with other countries, in Bolivia, the restrictions are so strict and strong than any other country, definitely. But anyway, in some points it's good because we are talking about our health.
Yes.
Okay. Well, ah, sorry. Yes, the idea was to use these examples, like was born, right? Let me see. Grew up, began college, fell in love. So all of those in past, right? But you did well. You did well. It was good. Okay. She's a manager. Okay. I think nothing to see with your life or with us, right? Anyway, also thanks for your participation. It was nice, and now I know a little bit more about you. Sorry, and it's nice. Let's talk about this. When we ask questions, usually we use an auxiliary verb, right? Did she finish college? Of course, we're gonna respect the base form of the verb. Do her parents help her? So, in order to make yes no questions, we're gonna use this structure, right? Using these verbs. So short answers will be: did one guy return to Kenya? Yes, she did, right? If because we are talking about past. Did she plant trees in the US? No, she didn't, right? Just very simple. Okay. Now there is asking and answering questions about the past. Use did. and time expressions. For example, how can we be doing this? Passed the exam last week. Like, did you pass the exam last week? Something like that. This is gonna be some questions that we're gonna work with. The short answer will be like yes, yes I did, no I didn't. Like that. Okay, but how can you ask or formulate some questions with these examples? Let's try to do it. Michaela, number one, how can you ask this question using the time expression?
Did you watch TV last night? The last night?
Yes. Yes, I did. No, I didn't, right? Something like that. Did you watch TV last night? It's not necessary to use the article day, right? Only last night.
Okay.
Yes. And how about the number two? Let's try Karen.
Okay, did you eat breakfast this morning?
Yes, I did. No, I didn't, right? Oh, sorry. How about number three, Lucia?
Did you do your homework yesterday?
Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't, right? And the last one would be like, did you go shopping last month, right? So, okay, these are some links to practice. This presentation will be available, but let's do some of them because you already know about regular and irregular verbs. This is kind of general review of that. Okay. I hope you're not gonna think that it is too basic. I hope not. Because you can say, no, teacher Juan is teaching us very basic things that we already know and we are wasting time. I hope not saying that. But let's do it. We're gonna try to do it. That's why to cover this faster. Oops. Um, yes. Um, okay, how about this one? What is the answer for number one? Please, can you read the full sentence? And we'll try to write fast.
My dog slept on my bed last night.
Very good. Number two, please, Karin.
Our English course began 3 months ago.
Three, please, Michaela.
The student took an exam yesterday.
Yes. Four, Lucia.
Mark paid for the meal in the restaurant.
Five.
You broke my mobile phone.
Okay. Six.
We went to Slovakia last year.
Okay.
Professor, I forget that.
Marilyn Ward, right?
Okay.
Right. I read an interesting book last week.
Yes, in class is the same, right?
But the pronunciation is the same.
Yes. No, the pronunciation is read, read, read.
Read, okay.
Yes, read, read. You can say, I read an interesting book last week, right? I read a book right now. I read, so something like that. But of course, the writing is so much the same, right? Good, perfect, piece of cake. Easy, right? Okay, let's work with the next one. No, it's a general review. So, okay, I use this page. I have access to Oxford University Press, and it's possible to find thousands of exercises and projects and whatever. Okay, and let's do it fast as we can. How about this one? Number one,
Lost.
lost, right?
Uh,
Frank,
I did in this case. I didn't. How I know that I need to use the negative form or the positive?
oh,
Yes, forgot. Sorry.
yeah, right. Sometimes, yeah, but that's interesting also. Sometimes when we want to talk about something, it's possible to use did, but in this case, not really, right? Frank did forgot his wallet. Yeah, okay. And how about number three?
Go.
Go. Four.
Mm, Lucia, I think that is your turn.
Drove.
Drove.
Um, didn't have.
Yes. And Michaela
Didn't write.
Didn't write.
didn't write. Very good. Good. Okay. We still have time available left, but let's do one more. I think a little bit more with a kind of degree of difficulty. I don't know if it's difficult, but it's very basic. So anyway, let me just give me a couple of minutes, and I'm gonna send a link, and everyone will. Okay, we're gonna work as a class with a very easy review, by the way. Okay, so that's gonna be about quizzes. So usually we're gonna, not all the time, but every single class, I think we're gonna use quizzes exercises. But let's do it. Okay. So just give me a couple of minutes while I'm gonna assign this one. And the only thing you have to do will be to get the link, and that's it. You're gonna just write your names, and that's it. So let's do it. There is the link. Let's get in. And but let me show you how it works. Okay. Okay, meanwhile you are getting that link. This is quizzes. And in order to work with this, you're gonna wait a little bit, and you will write your name here. For example, I can write my name, and just you will start. Okay. You start that. Okay. There. If you want to put in silent mode, so this is going to be very easy. For example, the past of say so, right? Now, said. Okay, but something like that. Let's. Are you ready? But everyone must work individually. Any questions? Were you able to get that?
So we can start now.
But remember that you have to write your names.
Oh,
Yes, do it, please. And let me know when you finish.
Sorry, so now we can start, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, go. Let's start. Okay, did you finish? Or are you still working on it? Okay, great. How was that quiz? Easy or difficult?
No, yes, but I think that I forgot some.
Mm.
In this case, when the verb is irregular, the word is irregular or the verb.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, the idea was to practice. It was, very random, right? Probably not the most common verbs. It was like not difficult, but yeah, at some points even I also got some mistakes. Yeah, I got some mistakes also. But anyway, the idea is to practice. So usually we're gonna work in every single class with quizzes. Okay, and I hope it's not gonna be boring or difficult. So I don't think it's difficult, but it's fast and that makes you think or that makes you very alert, right, on what you're doing. So I don't know if you like that. What do you think about that, Lucia? How was that? Did you got some? Did you get some mistakes, maybe?
Yes. Also, there were some verbs that I forgot.
Yeah, me too. Me, yeah, uh, some verbs also. But anyway, how about you, Michaela? How was the quiz for you?
Um, I need to work in my vocabulary.
Yeah, there are some verbs, right? It's not they're not very useful. Like soft, it was like neat, right? You know what's neat, right? When you in Spanish we say tejer, right? So
Yeah.
something like that. Not very useful verbs. They are useful, but anyway,
I knew the present form, but the
the past.
past, no.
Yeah, some of the verbs are like confusing, right? Some others are the same in the past. Only the pronunciation changes, but then it's the same. Okay, so now let's work with the platform. I think it's okay. And no, we need to do faster, move faster to the present perfect because it's just a moment, please. Let me open my slides. Okay, today we're working totally with grammar, but then we're gonna work with vocabulary. That's gonna be on Wednesday. Oh no, this is not the one that I was looking for. I'm sorry, I got something here. Okay, I'm trying to open my presentation of present perfect. I don't know what happened with my original presentation. Oh, come on. Just a moment, please. Oops. My computer is very slow right now. Anyway, when we talk about present perfect, present perfect is also, even the name is says present perfect, but we are still talking about the past, right? But the present perfect usually states the action in the past, but the only difference is that time that yeah, it is still relevant for today. That's the thing that I can explain about that. But let me share something here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry, my original presentation I couldn't find, but anyway, let's check it out. This one. Okay, guys, let's talk about present perfect. This is present perfect continuous, right? But it doesn't matter if it's present perfect continuous or just present perfect. Especially when we talk about, there we go, present perfect. How can we formulate that is just, for example, this one, right? I have done is the present perfect. Because we have a subject, have or has, and the past participle of the verb. That's the basic form of the present perfect. But when do we use it? We're going to make a comparison with I have been doing. For example, this is present perfect continuous, right? Look at this one. The present perfect continuous talk about a situation that was in progress at a certain time, right? But on the other hand, we have the other example about present perfect. I painted my bedroom. That means that the action was completed, but it is we can appreciate it. It has some relevance for today, but in this case was specifically is talking about one action that was in progress. So she was painting that, and now it's painted, right? It's already done, but it has importance and relevance for today. How come? There's a paint of Kate's clothes. She has been painting her living room. That means that she's still painting. She was painting, right? Because we are talking about that. Has been painting is the present perfect continuous, right? We are thinking of the activity. It doesn't matter whether it has been finished or not. In this example, the activity painting the living room has not been finished. We are talking about specifically the moment of the action was in progress. Just that, because we only care about that. But on the other, on the other hand, over here we have present perfect. The bedroom was green, now it is purple. She has painted her living room, right? It's finished. The important thing is that something has been finished. She has painted, it's a completed action. We are thinking about the result of the activity, the painted living room on the activity itself, okay? But maybe you can say, why don't we use only the simple past? It is possible to use sometimes. It is possible. In this case, it's possible to say, for example, the bedroom was painted, and that's it, right? But we are trying to compare something, just to understand when do we use present perfect continuous and present perfect. Present perfect continuous is possible to use when an action that started in the past, no matter when specifically started, but when we want just talk about the action that was in progress, and the other one in the present perfect, the action that was finished. Okay, so I hope it was you were possible or able to understand. It's let's continue with this one. For example, there are more comparisons about present perfect continuous and present perfect itself. My hands are very dirty. I've been repairing my bike. For example, I'm talking about I have been repairing my bike, right? Because the action is still in progress. The bike is not already fixed. But in this example, in present perfect, my bike is okay again now. Sorry, I have repaired it. That means that the action is finished. But over here, not yet. The bike is still broken, or I don't know, it's not fixed, it's not repaired. That's the meaning. That's only the difference among them. And if we compare this example as well, Joe Joe has been eating too much recently. He should eat less. And somebody has eaten all the chocolates. The box is empty. The chocolate is already eaten, right? But over here, not. Joe has been eating too much recently. He should. That means that he will continue eating, of course, and something like that. Okay, just in order to understand. Even in questions, it's possible to compare among them. Where have you been? Have you been playing tennis? In this example, I want to ask that person if he or she will. I don't know. In my mind, my idea is that he or she will continue playing. Okay, but in this case, have you ever played tennis? That means that I think, as a person that asks the question, um, I think, in my opinion, that he already finished playing tennis. He's not playing anymore. That's only the difference among them. I don't know if you have any questions about among these examples. Just comparing those examples in present perfect continuous and present perfect only.
Professor, I have a question. For present perfect is not something that an action that you did in the past and also continue in the future?
It
Sorry,
can,
continue in the present.
yeah, it depends. It may continue or it may not. Okay, the present perfect. It's not necessarily that the action, but the action started in the past, but sometimes the action can be finished. Okay, but in order to use that the action will continue, usually we use present perfect continuous. But present perfect sometimes even used with, for example, with yet. I don't know if you remember that. It can be like, have you like this? Have you? I don't know. Maybe I can change like, have you painted? Have you painted your room yet? For example, right? That's one question that can help us to understand that the action is still in progress, because it's about a question. How can I explain that? But it's possible. For example, when we use, I don't know if you remember, we use another word that is very common also in English. We use already, right? When we use already, that means the action was done, was finished. Maybe a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, but already. When we use just, right, also is something similar, just. You can say, I have just painted the room. I don't know, something like that. Or you can also use yet. Okay, but those only help us to state the time or okay, how it works. But also in present perfect, it's possible to use, I don't know, for and since, right? But that will not change the action, right? This only will mention for a period of time and point in time, only that. But when we talk about already, that means the action was finished, right? Like, have you already painted your room, right? We can say that, or as the question was that, like that. But yeah, not necessarily the action. It depends on the situation, not necessarily the action. That's why present perfect means that the action is not closely, or how can I say, totally finished or something like that. So it is also possible to say that the action can continue or not, but it depends. Okay, right now I hope you understood. I don't know, maybe I'm confusing more, but the idea is that the action is part of the past, but it has importance for today. That's the idea. Okay. So, but no worries. I'm gonna explain more about this. We're gonna analyze more about this tense. Okay. About present perfect, by the way. Okay, and let's continue, please. But in the next class, we're gonna practice more with this because you know, and according to the grammar, we need to review different verb tenses, different time tenses of grammar, especially. Okay, and of course, we're gonna talk about these ones like present perfect and all of those things. I don't know if you have any more questions. So also we're gonna practice with quizzes about present perfect. Okay. And okay. Well, I think it's time, right? Wow, time goes so fast. Um, okay, guys, I'm sorry, my camera is turned off right now. So it was really nice to have classes with you. I'm gonna send right now the poll, and definitely I'm gonna send you also the okay the link for joining the class, the platform, by the way. Okay. So I don't know if you have any other questions about the class, about something else. But if you can help me with the survey of today. Do you have any other question? But anyway, if you have any questions, if you want to know, I don't know, to ask me something else, you can just write me on WhatsApp, okay? And I will answer you if you need something, okay? Any doubts or I don't know if you have any questions to ask.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Okay,
Thank you,
well,
teacher.
well, it was nice to meet you. So we're gonna see each other tomorrow in the call, okay? And as this was the first class, I'm sorry I was not my activities were not very well maybe organized, but I promise for the next class or after this class I will organize better. So then of course we're going to work with the other platform as well, you know, classroom and other ones. Okay, thank you very much for joining the class, for being part of this class. I hope you get something out of this class, and okay, keep practicing your English, and we're gonna see each other tomorrow, and see you guys. Bye bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye,
Bye.
teacher.
Bye,
Thank you.
teacher.
Bye,
Thank you.
Karen. Bye, Michaela. Bye.
Bye bye.